Taylor Swift is one of the most celebrated stars on the planet. But sadly, her paranoia and victim complex means also one of the most negative. Taylor Swift will only give 2 interviews ahead of the release of her album Reputation. The extraordinary circumstances around the release of her new album Reputation on Friday will see her called into question. Taylor's team has threatened reviewers with thousands of pounds in fines if they dare to break the embargo. 5 a.m. our time. I've refused to sign the ludicrous document. Meanwhile, the singer has banned all interviews where she doesn't have editorial control, and is giving her only pre-album release chat to a magazine published by herself. Beyonce has skipped press and interviews for the last 2 albums she has released. How very clairvoyant of her. Taylor's team have also pleaded with journalists not to mention the names of her many ex-boyfriends, which is why I've published them here in a one-handy guide. Last night a source told me Taylor has become overbearingly protective of her image. She doesn't feel like she needs to do interviews to sell albums anymore. Sources claim Taylor Swift has become overprotective of her image. She doesn't want to have to address issues like her feuds with Katy Perry and Kanye West. So only doing interviews where she has complete control stops that from happening. Taylor has seen how Beyonce has managed to sustain a career without doing interviews. But they are very different artists and her team aren't sure it's the wisest choice. Taylor Swift only wants to give interviews that talk about her and none of her controversies. She just wants to do the talking and hopes that will be enough. Taylor will release 2 personally curated magazines on Friday, through US store Target, and revealed the covers yesterday, which mocked US Mag's OK and Us Weekly. In them, she will talk publicly for the first time in almost 2 years. But as someone who has supported her since the very beginning of her career and is a massive fan, I think it's a real shame Taylor and her team have lost any sense of the real world. Taylor Swift wants to follow in Beyoncé's footsteps and refuse to give interviews where she is not in control. Taylor's team has pleaded with journalists not to mention any of her ex-boyfriends in interviews and press. Every story I've ever broken about Taylor has been true. Taylor dating Tom Hiddleston true. Taylor dumps Tom Hiddleston true. Taylor dating Joe Alwyn true. Taylor Swift has consistently released about her personal life but does not wish to discuss it in interviews. Taylor Swift performs on stage. Taylor Swift's upcoming album Reputation is her first since the Grammy Award winner 1989, and let's be honest, Taylor has actively encouraged interest in her personal life, with some pictures. Just this week, she hit the headlines when her team threatened a blogger with legal action after they criticized her for not speaking out on political issues and accused her of enabling a fan base of white supremacists. But, of course, Taylor won't be asked about that anywhere, either. This album better be really amazing. Taylor Swift faces off with a cyborg version of herself in her new video for Ready for It. Taylor and her controlling team pleaded with me not to mention former boyfriends. So with that in mind, Taylor Lautner August-November 2009, John Mayer November 2009, February 2010, Jake Gyllenhaal October-December 2010, Harry Styles November 2012, January 2013, Calvin Harris March 2015, June 2016, Tom Hiddleston June September 2016. Come back looking so damn fine. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Danni Minogue's back. After testing the water with her dance tune Holding On back in August, the Aussie star makes her official pop return on Friday with New Galaxy, ending a whole decade away from the charts. Danni Minogue said she is balancing her career, being a mother and home time. Danni Minogue is back with a new single titled Galaxy after a decade away from the charts, penned by hitmaker Sia. It's her first proper solo offering since she gave birth to son Ethan in 2010, although that's hard to believe in my exclusive promo snap where Danni looks like she hasn't aged a day. Of her return, Danni said, "Music is fun for me now. I've set it up so I can do fun things like tours and releasing, yet do it sporadically, because I don't want to be a slave to it. I need everything to revolve around me having a life, being a mother and home time. The is about feeling joy and happiness. Sending my version of the to Sia was nerve-wracking, but she really liked it. Holding On is a Edmund-inspired track penned by fellow Aussie Sia. I told in August how Danny I would be joining Take That on their tour of Oz, ending her hiatus which saw her swap singing for telly roles on The X Factor and Gary Barlow's Let It Shine. During her heyday she scored 19 top 40 hits in the UK, 9 of which went top 10, and last year boasted one of the biggest-selling vinyl singles of 2016 with 100 Degrees, her festive duet with sister Kylie. Welcome back. Rihanna, Donatella Versace and Amal Clooney will host the Met Gala in New York on May 7, 2018. Guests at next year's annual Fashion Bash will dress to the theme Heavenly Boss Fashion and the Catholic Imagination. Seal of disapproval for sing-off. Seal does not seem to be too gutted that he will not be returning as a coach on The Voice Australia. The singer, who did 3 series of the show, says TV competitions have had their day. Seal is not disappointed about not returning to The Voice Australia as he believes it has become sensationalised. He told me, "I do think these shows are getting a little bit played out because they're more focused on the sensationalist aspect of TV rather than the authenticity. What worked 5 or 10 years ago doesn't necessarily work now because people have exhausted a lot of options." He continued, "The public has become wise and the public has also become deluged in content. What now resonates with the public when something is so not obviously orchestrated? People just want something real, warts and all." On Friday, Seal releases jazz album Standards, which covers old-school classics by Frank Sinatra. Seal's album Standards is out November the 10th and will feature covers of Frank Sinatra tracks. Meanwhile, The Londoner revealed his 12-year-old son Henry is also a buff, but that he does not think the youngster will follow in his footsteps. Seal explained he's got a path that helps setting himself. He plays guitar, he is Ian. He's on a much bigger mission. He's part of the army that are just going to fix it all. That are going to fix the world. Henry is one of Seal's 4 kids with model Heidi Klum, who he divorced in 2015 after a decade's marriage. This year his 2-year relationship with Australian model Erica Packer ended too. Seal was previously married to supermodel Heidi Klum, but divorced in 2015 after a decade of marriage. Asked about current romances, he joked, "Only with my hamster. My pet hamster Betty is my love interest." Seal's Standards UK tour is set to kick off in February. Drake is a massive Harry Potter fan and is after a £122,000 first edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. He said, "I read them all. I should get it. My birthday's coming up. Maybe I'll buy it for myself as a treat." New bit of wit: her starring role in The Bodyguard and accompanying I Will Always Love You are familiar worldwide. But here's the late Whitney Houston as you've never seen her before. My stunning snap of the singer was taken during filming of the 1992 romantic thriller, but only now released to mark the film's 25th anniversary. This exclusive picture of Whitney Houston was snapped on the set of the 1992 thriller The Bodyguard on November 17. A new collection, Whitney Houston, I Wish You Love More from The Bodyguard, will also feature unreleased live and studio recordings from her Bodyguard tour. There's always room for more Whitney. Box office: Murder on the Orient Express steams ahead at the UK box office. Kenneth Branagh's star-studded take on the Agatha Christie whodunit raked in very nearly £5 million this week, ahead of Thor Ragnarok, A Bad Mom's Christmas, Jigsaw and The Death of Stalin. Heavy hitter: the franchise that made Jean-Claude Van Damme a superstar rolls on. A reboot, Kickboxer Vengeance, featuring Guardians of the Galaxy's Dave Bautista, debuted in September, and bosses have agreed to another film, with Mike Tyson on board alongside Van Damme. Cameo: Rogue One's Bo Gadsden has swapped Hollywood for Harrywood to appear in her first video. The Star Wars actor appears as a mini Harry Styles to accompany the singer's new single Kiwi. She is seen dressed in Harry's trademark floral suit as she starts a cupcake fight. Comeback: Ben Whishaw returns as the voice of the friendliest bear in town when Paddington 2 arrives in cinemas on Friday. The glittering cast includes such luminaries as Hugh Bonneville, Hugh Grant, Peter Capaldi, Jim Broadbent and Julie Walters. Sam's plan. Sam Smith has spent 2 albums singing about heartache and loneliness, but that may change by the time his 3rd album emerges. Asked if he wants kids, the singer, now dating actor Brandon Flynn, said massively, "Yeah, it's like my life plan." Sam Smith reveals he would like to adopt children in the near future via surrogacy. "I want kids so bad. I just feel like it's nature's way of reminding you that it's not about you. It makes you not selfish." And he would like to adopt, as well as having children via a surrogate. He said, "I think I might do both. When I went to Iraq to the camps, it made me want to adopt. If anyone can juggle fatherhood and superstardom, Sam can." Sam Smith talks to Dan Wootton about new romance with 13 Reasons Why star Brandon Flynn. Bake Off champ Nadia Hussein set to appear in next year's Strictly. Gemma Collins will not be going into the MA celeb jungle again. Strictly's Otim abuse fears being marked down due to her skin color. Suicide shock for Corey's Ken Barlow as grandson Adam overdoses on painkillers. Apprentice stars have steamy fling in new series, as we reveal contestants.